Hello, my name is Russ Milheim. I'm from the Direct. Thank you for talking to me today about Damsel.
Yes, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Of course, of course. Nice to meet you as well. I saw the movie the other day, and I really enjoyed it. So congratulations.
Great, thank you.
Now, ahead of doing this film, did you do any particular research to get ready for the role?
So yeah, I got sent over some description about Floria, and I read the whole script. And I took ideas from the script about Floria's reactions to certain things, and from then I made like a slide, and I put loads of sort of description words about Floria to help me understand how she would act in normal daily life.
Yeah. Given the prominence of a dragon in the movie, I have to ask. Are you a big fan of dragon slash fantasy type media?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most interesting sort of genres, in my opinion, having a dragon in a film. Um, it's definitely exciting because you never know what's going to happen with a dragon.
Yeah, I bring up the dragon because it was one of the things I noticed about the film is I really enjoyed the dragon's design and the special effects that went with it all. And so I wanted to ask you, in your own words, what do you think really makes this particular dragon stick out from any other depictions of these creatures throughout the years?
I think one that makes it stick out is that it can talk. I think that's definitely a major one that the dragon can talk to Millie in it. And another is probably the dragon's backstory is another big one. Yeah.
Did you guys get to see the dragon's like design while you were working on it, or was it not finalized?
Got to see it in what was it? The voiceovers. I got to see little snippets of the dragon and it looks amazing.
Nice. What were you guys acting to in the movie, or what? Yeah,
We were just acting to a little green cross on the camera
nice.
or on like the green screen. Yeah, we were acting towards that.
Very realistic. I'm sure it helped. Um, Now you mentioned Millie. You got to work with Millie Bobby Brown on set. What was it like working with her?
It was such an amazing experience. It was quite intimidating at first because she's such a professional actress and she's so big in the acting world. Um, but over time, she gave me lots of tips and tricks on set, and it made me want to push myself more being around such amazing actors.
Did you guys do anything like offset to kind of build the dynamic between you two?
Yeah, when we were in Portugal and we were staying on this wine vineyard, we had dinner every night together, and it was great.
Very nice. Yeah. Well, that does sound pretty nice. Now, with that relationship, right, with Elodie, did you base any of that off of real life, relationships that you have, or
I don't have a sister, so I couldn't really relate to having a sister, but I think having siblings and how I would like react with my siblings and show love towards them, that definitely helped getting used to the whole sibling with Elodie and Floria thing.
for you, what was the most difficult scene that you had to do within the movie?
One of the cave scenes, when Elodie finds me, it was difficult because I was upset, but I was happy at the same time. So I found it very difficult to get my head around that scene. Yeah, that was challenging.
You mentioned this, the beautiful locations that you got to be in. How much of the movie was filmed on a practical set on location compared to, in front of screens or whatnot?
I mean, most of the movie was based in caves, which were obviously built on sets. Um, but a lot of the beginning and the end of the film were based in real locations, like the castles in Portugal. They were stunning, and then the vineyard that was also a great location to film in. Yeah, so a lot of it was real sets.
Making a movie, obviously, a lot can get cut. And so my question for you is, can you recall any deleted moments that maybe you wish that audiences could see, but it just wasn't meant to be?
We filmed two different endings for the film, and I feel like it would be great for them to see the other ending that we filmed, just because it could start like a whole different vibe about what's going to happen for future.
I have to ask, are you able to share what this alternate ending might be?
So one was where Elodie stayed with us, and one was where Elodie left.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. Uh, that actually kind of leads into my next question, in that, when you were filming this, how different was the final product compared to the script that you first read? Were there a lot of changes throughout?
Yeah, there were a lot of changes. I think we changed, yeah, we changed quite a bit of it. I mean, the storyline, like, through the start and the middle, stayed the same. The ending changed quite a lot. A lot of lines were cut and a lot of lines were added. So when we were doing the reshoots, there were quite a lot of scenes that they'd swapped out for other scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about the hardest scene for you to film, but what was your favorite?
Probably filming on the vineyard. That was one of my favorites. Yeah, getting to film in the hills, it was such an amazing experience. Yeah, it was very beautiful.
Yeah, I want to talk about, towards the end of the film, as we've said and alluded to, your character gets tossed down there, just like Elodie at the beginning. Uh, can you talk about filming those scenes and being able to have some time in those caves and working with that fake dragon?
Yeah, so my first ever scene that I filmed was in a cave, and it was such a tight cave. It was kind of scary at first. I had to have like my legs pulled out of it and stuff. Yeah, that was some of the caves were really scary compared to the others. But then I think my favorite cave scene was the one where we got to see the dragon, and there was like this massive like water sort of puddle thing, and it was like huge, and I had no clue how they made it.
Now, one thing I learned recently was actually that there's a novelization of this movie, which is based on the same script that the movie used. Did you ever get a chance to read the book as well?
We have got the book. I haven't read it yet. I've seen some bits of it. My mum's read it. But yeah, that's one for me to read.
Yeah, I was curious if there were any like big changes between the two, because I haven't got to read it, but I remember looking into it. They were basically talking about how there could be some small changes between the two. So, uh, did you manage to? Is one thing I like to ask people a lot is, there's the tendency, a lot of actors like to snatch things at the last moment from productions they work on to keep as like keepsakes. Did you manage to keep anything to remember Damsel by?
Oh yeah, I got on my birthday. I had a birthday on set in Portugal, and Ray Winston bought me a bottle of champagne for my birthday. Yeah, yeah. He told me to keep it for when I'm 18. It was from my birth year, which is such a sweet thing for me to buy.
Oh, wow, nice.
Um,
You should have got the green markers for the dragon. Just kidding.
oh, I should have.
Now, big question for you. As an actress, how do you think your time on Damsel helped you grow?
Being around like such big actors, that definitely helped me grow because I got to watch them portray things that they'd learned over time. Because people like Millie, they started from such a young age, and being able to watch her and how much she's grown since doing things like Stranger Things, it was very inspirational towards me. I got to learn lots of tips and tricks off them. Yeah.
Now, I have two more questions for you. One is, if there was ever a sequel to this, how do you think the story would continue for your character?
I feel like my character would sort of grow up and realize that happily ever after it doesn't exist because Floria's always in her own little world with princesses, princes. She's very dazed by it. So yeah, I think she'd sort of become more closed off to the world after what happens during the film to her. Yeah.
Now, with Damsel completed, what is the next type of role you personally would love to take on?
Oh, I would love to do something. Have you ever watched the franchise To All the Boys I Loved Before on Netflix?
I don't think so, no.
It's such a good film. You should watch it. And I'd love to do something like that. It's like, like middle school, high school sort of romance movie, or like
Mhm.
something like Dork Diaries. That would be such a great film to do. Yeah.
Well, I'll cross my fingers for you, so that becomes a
Thank
reality.
you.